all right, let's do the respiratory system. Now that we did the circulatory system and we know what happens to the oxygen after we breathe it in, and then it ends up back in the lungs. Now we need to know, how does the oxygen get into our body? So we're going to learn how the oxygen gets into our body through the respiratory system, and then I'm going to connect it to what we've already learned about the circulatory system. So our respiratory system, the main purpose of it is to bring oxygen into our body. So the first part is the trachea. The trachea is our windpipe. There are two pipes that go down your throat. Essentially. One is the esophagus, which brings down the food, and the other one is your trachea, which is your windpipe. So have you ever heard someone say, ooh, it went down the wrong way, it went down the wrong pipe? That's what they're talking about. So the trachea is essentially your windpipe. It allows oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. Carbon dioxide is the gas that's produced in our body. Ooh. All right, carbon dioxide is the gas that's produced in our body after it goes through our blood and our entire system. So the next one, and so that is right here, actually. That is the windpipe behind here. Okay, and then we have like the vertebrae and everything around it. So we have, after the trachea, we have the bronchi. Now the bronchi are these pieces right here. When someone says, I got bronchitis, it means that these tubes right here are swollen, and it makes it a little difficult to breathe, or it has congestion in there. So ain't nobody got time for that. All right, bronchi are small tubes that lead from the lungs to the alveoli. And I will tell you what those are in a few minutes. That lead to the alveoli. Okay, bronchi. Now the alveoli are surrounded by capillaries. Remember we said the capillaries are the little tiny vessels that connect the arteries and the veins. And they give blood the oxygen and take away the carbon dioxide. So these alveoli are what puts the oxygen in the blood. So I know that we were talking about how that process worked when we were doing the circulatory system, but we didn't say exactly how it got the oxygen inside it. Well, now we're talking about it. So these little things right here, and I'm going to finish coloring them later, those are alveoli. They are responsible for putting the oxygen in our blood. So they're surrounded by the capillaries. And they give the blood oxygen and take away carbon dioxide. So essentially, it's kind of like a train station. So let's think about that. It's like a train station. So it picks up the oxygen in the one train, and then the carbon dioxide gets off the train. So once the capillaries get the oxygen from the alveoli, then they bring it to the heart into the left atrium. And then it starts that process that we talked about yesterday. And I'll finish coloring that in a little bit. And then the largest part of this system is our lungs. They're the major respiratory system organ. You have two of them. The major respiratory organs. They take the oxygen and release carbon dioxide. And what inside of them allows them to do that? The alveoli. And that I will color over pink. Okay. So you can pause that, finish taking the notes, and I am going to finish coloring our lungs, and I will be back momentarily. All right, that's my picture. Now I do want to mention that asthma is a disease of the lungs, and that is when there are tubes inside of your lungs called bronchioles that get swollen, and the bronchi get swollen, and it is difficult to breathe. There are a couple other ways that asthma can affect your body, and you're going to be looking for that in your active reading as one of your questions. So that is our respiratory system.